Does it work like that?
Yeah, they'll be here. So we can go through them.
We'd like to welcome everybody out. Thank you for joining us tonight. We got some important things we want to go through tonight. So we'd like to first recognize we have Councilmember Yeoman, Councilmember Tafoya, Councilmember Saxton, and Councilmember Burrell joining us tonight. About 30 days ago, Councilman Paul indicated he would be somewhere in the back east, somewhere on a trip, business trip. So we've asked Councilmember Tafoya to lead us in a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please bow your head for a moment of silence. Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Dave. Okay, we have some consent items. Basically, the approval of the August 27th, 2019 Roy City Council meeting minutes, and they have been amended. There were some minor changes that need to be done. Morgan's taken care of that. A request for approval of the alcohol beverage license for Roy Quick Shop located at 4484 South, 1900 West, number 4, and the sale of surplus property. 4 2012 Dodge Charger vehicles. Council, any comments before we take a motion?
No.
Any comments? Okay. Do I have a motion then to approve the consent items?
I'll make that motion that we approve the consent items as amended.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, thank you. Okay, we do have some action items we need to work. We do have a swearing of an officer. So, Captain, Chief, please help us introduce Eric.
Mayor, Council, and City Manager, we're really happy. We've hired a new officer. We've got one in the academy, and we hired this one. And it gets us full. We're fully staffed now, and as we've been lucky enough to do, we're bringing in the best. We've got Eric Ganuccio. We can get him to come up. He's coming to us from Ogden. He's a master officer there. He's on the SWAT team, assistant SWAT team leader, and he strong background in community policing was his assignment there. So we brought one of the shining stars from Ogden here. So we're really glad to have him. So if we can get him sworn in.
We love it when we can steal from others.
Yeah,
that's
I
great.
thought the
Eric,
same
thank you.
Yeah,
thing.
great steal.
I state your name,
I, Eric Ganuccio,
having been elected or appointed
having been elected or appointed
to the office of police officer,
to the office of police officer,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and that I will discharge the duties
and I will discharge the duties
of my office with fidelity.
of my office with fidelity.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Comments, Council?
Yeah, welcome. Does he want to tell us a little bit about himself? Do you have any family here this evening?
I don't. I have a girlfriend, but she was stuck at work, so she didn't make it.
Okay, that's fine. Well, welcome to Roy City.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Eric, good to have you. Thank you. Okay, this is, we're going to have a public hearing to talk about the budget. Council, do I have a motion to open up for public hearing?
Mayor, I'd like to make that motion. We open up public hearing.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I heard 3. Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, we're now in a public hearing. Camille, you're going to kind of introduce it, and then we'll allow the public, if they have any comments, to talk to us about it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mayor and Council. It's great to be with you this evening to present Resolution Number 19-22 for your consideration to adjust the fiscal year 2020 budget based on the information you received in your packets. This budget amendment will increase the previously approved fiscal year 2020 budget by $1,343,841. Years ago, the accounting practice changed for the way that we recognize the revenue we receive from Weber County for our property taxes. We used to receive it based on a calendar year, the way they collect it, and they changed it that you should receive it based on the fiscal year to align with our budget. At that point in time, we were grandfathered in, and we would like to propose that we make that change now. Going forward, we will take care of that with our annual budgeting process, but there is a one-time adjustment to recognize some of the revenue that came in for a prior calendar year of $304,000. So that's where that one-time money comes from property tax. Going forward, we won't have any more adjustments from that. The other revenue increases are from some ramp grants. We received $4,000 to help offset the Roy Days costs and events. And we received a fire EMS grant we're recognizing the revenue for. And $156,000 was given to us by RAMP in previous years. We weren't ready to complete the project, so it's been sitting in a deferred revenue account, and we're ready to recognize that and transfer it to the capital project fund to complete another set of restrooms at the George Wallen North Park. We also are including $99,000 from fund balance reserves. Some of the expenses we hope to cover with this budget opening are $28,000 to cover the primary election costs, a transfer of $25,500 to IT. This will cover necessary software updates and database servers for our financial system and for the body camera systems. The increase of $36,000 to cover wages and building maintenance and $46,000 to cover janitorial services at the recreation complex, $255,000 to purchase 5 police vehicles, $3,000 to cover the police peer support group and provide funding for community outreach and safety fairs, and miscellaneous adjustments to grant accounts. We also propose in both the Capital Projects Fund and the Park Development Funds that we carry forward the leftover budgets from last year to continue the work at our parks and continue those projects. As we mentioned in the IT fund, we're proposing upgrading our software for the system requirements. And in the Class C road funds, we're proposing using leftover funding from prior years to carry forward and cover new equipment that we need. The Class C road funds can only be used for expenses related to roads. So we're proposing a new truck that includes a snowplow, a salter and spreader for both the street department truck and the new water department dump truck, and to replace the street department's 2004 backhoe. The last item on the budget opening is in the risk management fund. We're proposing to take $71,800 from fund balance reserves. The use of fund balance will cover $26,000 in insurance premiums that capture a recaptured loss payment to our insurance broker, and the additional $45,800 would cover dumpster relocation costs that have been discussed in previous council meetings. We traditionally have only proposed 3 to 4 budget openings per year as the needs arise, so we've included everything in this proposal. And as a reminder, we have a variety of adjustments we're proposing for your consideration. So once you have public comment, you can approve resolution number 19-22 as written, or make a motion to amend the resolution and exclude any items as you so choose. So we recommend you accept public comment and consider the adjustments to resolution number 19-22. Thank you.
Thank you, Camille. This is a public hearing, so if you would like, please step up to the microphone. Just give us your name, your address, and share what you think as it relates to the budget. There will be a public comment period for other things, but this one deals with the budget specific. Anybody have any comments? Okay. Council, I'd propose that we close public hearing and then have council comments in terms of what we've just heard. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, council comments for Camille? Anything?
No,
We
there
okay?
was- Yeah,
Okay.
there was a
was
lot.
in
I'm
the
glad we
minutes.
kind of
There was a
did
lot.
it all at this one time. I think it made it a little bit easier, even though there was a lot.
There's a lot in there. Thank you, Camille. Okay. Council, do I have a motion then to approve Resolution 19-22, approving the adjustments to the fiscal year 2020 budget?
Motion for approval.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second?
Okay, this is a roll call vote.
Councilmember Saxton,
Aye.
Councilmember Yeoman,
Aye.
Councilmember Burrell,
Aye.
Councilmember Tafoya.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay. Camille, you got your changes. Okay, thank you. That's a lot of work there. Okay, you're also going to discuss with us then Resolution 19-23, adopting a lost and found policy.
Yes.
Thank you.
We have been reviewing our policies, as you know, the last few council meetings to ensure we have guidelines for employees to follow. And we do not currently have a lost and found policy. So we are proposing resolution number 19-23 to set guidelines for items that can be immediately disposed of, set a timeline of 30 days for most items before we destroy or dispose of them, and a $50 threshold before we turn the items over to the police department to find the property owner. So we would recommend that you approve resolution 19-23, adopting a new lost and found policy.
I thought it was good. It was actually, I was kind of surprised to find out we didn't have a process because what went in my head was there was a time, I think it was last year's trunk or treat, we had some cell phones that were lost and stuff. And so then we were like, and that was one thing that went in my head. I was like, oh my gosh, we didn't have a policy in order to deal with if our citizens or even our employees lose something. So it was kind of shocking to me that we didn't have that in place, but it was very well written. It really covered a lot of aspects of where things were lost and how they can be disposed of and stuff. So it was very well written policy.
Camille, are those thresholds pretty standard? I mean, is that pretty
Yes,
commensurate with other cities?
We did some research online and looked at especially other cities,
Yeah, cash
libraries,
handling.
different public entities, and that's
Thank you.
pretty common.
Okay, great comments. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, do I have a motion to approve Resolution 19-23, adopting the new lost and found policy?
I'll make
Okay.
that motion.
Okay, I'll
Okay.
second it.
Okay, this is a roll call vote.
Councilmember Burrell,
Aye.
Councilmember Yeoman,
Aye.
Councilmember Tafoya,
Aye.
Councilmember Saxton.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Perfect, thank you. Camille, you got one more.
I do.
Okay. Please, talk to us about the cash handling policy.
So
Yeah.
as we mentioned before, we've been going through our policies to make sure we have proper guidelines for our employees to follow. The outlines in the cash handling policy show procedures for proper cash handling, the receipting, reconciliation, security of the funds, and separation of duties. And these are in accordance with the state code and the Utah Money Management Act. We also have guidelines establishing the proper handling of credit and debit card transactions to follow the payment card industry data security standards to make sure we're not holding any credit card information unsecurely. So with that, we recommend that you approve resolution number 19-24, adopting a cash handling policy.
Okay, thank you. Comments? Council?
No. Another good written policy, and glad that we have it in place. So, Mayor, I'd like to make that motion that we adopt resolution number, don't have it right here in front of me. I gotta scroll back.
1924?
1924, approving the cash handling policy.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Phew, I'm getting worried there, Brian. Okay, this is a roll call vote.
Councilmember Tafoya,
Aye.
Councilmember Burrell,
Aye.
Councilmember Saxton,
Aye.
Councilmember Yeoman.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Camille. A lot of work there. Thank you. Okay, this is a public comment time. If you have anything you'd like to share with us on any topic, please step up to the microphone. Just give us your name and your address. Thank you.
All right, I'm Robert Percival, 5511 South, 2800 West. I'm here before the council tonight. I'm kind of wearing two hats, so I got two things. The first hat I'm wearing is I am the vice president of the local firefighters union, 3854, and I just wanted to make people that weren't aware that we are holding a Meet the Candidates Night this upcoming October 10th at the library at 6 p.m. We'd like to invite everybody. We want this to be a good chance for people to meet the candidates, to get their opinions on the different issues facing the city.
You said 6:30?
It's between 6 and 6:30 is when it
Okay.
starts.
October 5th.
The soonest we can get in the
10th.
library is about a little after 6, so we'll be there and ready to go.
Okay,
We're also inviting the citizens to submit questions.
okay.
There is an event on our Facebook page, our Roy Firefighters Union Facebook page, and I believe it's also been shared on the Roy Citizens page. So they can submit questions there, or they can submit them to the email address on that event. The second thing I had is, being a citizen of Roy, me and my wife got into riding bikes this summer. We've ridden our bikes about 500 miles this summer, not a lot. Mostly trails in Weber and Davis County, and I just wanted to thank the city for Roy City's portion of the trail. It's probably the most well-maintained portion of the trail between here and Farmington. You know, other ones have nice trails, but they're pretty bumpy, got roots growing through them, whatever. But Roy City seems to be really well-maintained, and we appreciate that.
Just
I
to
did have one
comment.
suggestion.
Okay, I was going to say, just to kind of piggyback on that, we have adopted, we all know, adopted trail program through the beautification committee. And with that, then sections of the trail is adopted by certain, groups or committees to be able to keep up those sections and looking nice. So really the thanks, I mean, it's part of the beautification, but really those thanks also probably we need to reach out to those that have adopted those sections.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
The only suggestion I had is possibly getting a bike repair station installed somewhere along Roy's section of the trail. Maybe the 6,000 parking lot.
That would be a good idea. Ironically enough,
I've used the one at
That's what I
Smith's
was
in
just
Kaysville
thinking.
numerous times.
So what consists of that? Is it
It-
like pumps
It's
or?
a pole, you buy it completely, it's a stand. You can put your bike on, it's got a pump, it's got the major tools you need.
yeah, we actually talked about doing that at the 6,000 South.
6,000.
We have
And
a
they're
restroom there.
less than $1,000. I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Yeah. Anytime we do improvements on the trail, traditionally, UTA had some difficulties with us doing so. This last week, I had the opportunity to go down to a conference, and UTA was there, so I started bending some ears, and they got me a good contact. So if we want to do things in the future,
Good.
we can surely do.
That's why I was
so.
thinking
So,
maybe at the
yeah.
6,000 parking lot.
'Cause
that's
it's our
not necessarily
property,
on there
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Just,
Good
just
idea.
an idea, but I appreciate the trails. Thank you.
That's perfect.
good.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Great
you.
comments. Okay, anybody else would like to share a thought with us? Please don't be shy. Just our name and address. Thank you.
Yes, I'm Kevin Homer. I live at 5398 South, 4000 West. About 6 weeks ago, on August 5th, I submitted a proposal to the council and to the mayor specifically asking for an improvement to the city ordinances related to the rights of property owners and soliciting that goes on house to house. A couple weeks later, I asked for an update on it. I'm looking for someone to sponsor this legislation, trying to find one of you that might think it is a good idea to enhance the rights of property owners here in the city. Just wondering if any of you can provide me with an update.
I've read it quite a few times, okay? I think the secret to this would be as much like anything that deals with land use requirements. It is an ordinance issue. And it has to go through that public process through the Planning Commission. And so as we formulate, we've got now, I think there's about 7 recommendations the Planning Commission is working through right now to change zoning ordinance requirements and some changes in that ordinance requirement. And so at this point, we're kind of letting those processes kind of run through. There's some priorities there. Then we'll take a shot at your recommendations on what we think we might be able to do or not be able to do, a reference to that.
That's actually a little confusing to me.
Go ahead.
Because this does not require any change of zoning. Currently, we know who the residential, whatever is zoned residential is already residential.
Mm-hmm.
All this is doing is trying to support the owners or the people that live and rent on properties. To be
Okay?
able to decide who comes to their door and who does not, so.
Yeah, you're
To involve the planning commission is just a little confusing to me. I thought it would be something that the council could address without having to go through the planning.
You're absolutely correct. We got two of them then, obviously. Your particular one was talking about solicitation, and can we in fact enforce a solicitation issue, okay, at the front door? That's the other one. I apologize. That's right. That doesn't require planning commission responsibility. That's a city council issue.
Okay, so hopefully y'all still got that email somewhere, and if you could look at it and decide if you think it's a good idea, I would sure appreciate somebody on the council stepping up and sponsoring that, and pushing it forward.
Okay. Well, we'll push it back out, ask for comments on it, and see what we
Okay.
can come up with.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you
Good
very
comment.
much.
Thank you. Anything else anybody would like to share? Oh, I just indicate, anything else you'd like to share? Anybody like to make any comments? This is public comment period? Okay. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
This would be the time. So,
If you'd like to make comment, all you have to do is
This is
come
the
up to the
time.
microphone, just give us your name and address.
It can be,
uh-huh. This is,
it can be separate if he has.
uh-huh.
Yeah, if you'd like to share a thought, please.
Oh. Oh, really?
We'll try to turn that up a little bit so everybody
Okay.
can hear it.
Is it
Okay.
that microphone that you can't hear or ours? Oh, that microphone's
Oh.
not working. Okay.
Just your name and address. Thank you.
Okay. Dolores Jacobson. I'm at 1760 West, 5000
Sure.
South, which is the senior housing, Cozy Dale Senior Housing. And I can't tell you the address, I just know it's behind me, which was a old, Wilbur Dawson property, which is an open field. And it is very overgrown. And it's not hardly 10 feet from my house, plus 6 other houses. I called, over a month ago and talked to whoever's in charge of codes because the weeds are so bad and it's so dry. I'm scared to death I'm gonna lose my home. So I don't know who else to talk to, so here I am. I would like to see, I mean, it's always been taken care of. I did talk to the previous, when Mr. Dawson passed away, it was sold to a Jim Arnett. I called him and he said he no longer owns the property, that it was sold to a Hutchins or Hutchinson Construction.
I don't recognize the name.
So in any event, if whoever owns it is not going to take care of it, can the city not go in and mow it down or at least make a fire line?
Well-
And back charge him?
I'll tell you what the statute says. The statute basically says, yes, we can do that. The challenge has always been, once the city takes on a responsibility to clean up a particular property, it's hard to get paid back for the amount of time and labor put into it. The policy basically says the city can put a lien on the property, but the lien is only good until the property is sold, and then they have to basically pay off that lien. And so to your question, the city has a policy where it can do that, but we find there's a better way to do that with code enforcement. And the way to do that would be to simply notify the landowner. Looks like it's changed hands since Mr. Dawson passed away. And notify them that the weeds are non-compliant with the nuisance ordinance. And I assume they're just tall weeds. Is that a fair
Yes.
statement?
Yes.
Okay. So the best way to approach this would be is have the city manager get the address specific. Do we know what that address is?
Yeah, let me get it from you. I didn't
So-
hear, I was paying attention to the microphone. Can you restate the address, or
Okay,
maybe
I-
give me your
I'm
phone
at-
number afterwards too?
I'm at 1760 West, 5000 South, which is just off Airport Road,
Okay,
so it's just behind my house.
okay, maybe after the meeting, do you mind giving me your phone number so I can follow up with you?
Okay. All right,
Okay.
thank you.
And then we'll have the code enforcement officer notify the property owner indicating they need to take responsibility to clean up their lot.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That's a good comment.
I know where she's at.
Anybody else would like to share a thought with us? Any topic? Any subject? Okay, seeing none, we'll close the public comment period. This is the city manager time, so we'd like to give us a report. Matt?
Yeah, I actually just have a couple of topics that I wanted to discuss. Just mark your calendar for October 9th. It will be our public safety open house out here behind the city offices. It'll be from 6 to 8:30 p.m. It'll be the same type of event as previous years. But it will happen that night at the night of October 9th. Just a reminder, tomorrow night, we'll be feeding the Roy High football team. Staff will be cooking, and council members, you're welcome to be out there to serve the football team.
I will not be able to attend
Okay.
to feed.
And then, this last week, Sergeant Perez actually hosted a training for the utility department for an active shooter. He's going to be hosting another one for the legislative department and the development services. And the training was phenomenal, I heard. I didn't attend it myself, but they will be doing that, he will be doing that training again on October 3rd if you guys would like to come. It will be from 1 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. With that training being done downstairs, they would like to host more of a live, active scenario in the city. They've picked the date of October 29th. There's going to be no court that day. We would like to propose that we close the city offices just in the morning to allow that training event to go on, but it will allow employees to understand how quickly and swiftly some of these scenarios will take place, and they can go around and educate us on that topic. So that will be it. We're proposing October 29th. If anybody has any problems with that, we can change the date or work with that as well.
And what time was that, Matt?
That would be 8 o'clock in the morning, so nobody would be in the building until 10 o'clock. That will allow us time to put it on our website and put it in the utility office and stuff as well.
Okay.
But other than that, that's all I have.
Okay, council, any comments?
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
just, real quick, and I'm hoping Matt will fill in the blanks.
Okay.
At 6,000 South, 3,100 West, there was a recent accident. And as a result of that accident, there was a lot of Facebook activity. And just to clarify what was shared by me is that at that particular intersection in 2021, we will start sidewalk work along 6,000. That will be followed by a roundabout being constructed there at that particular intersection by 2024.
Correct.
In addition, there is, and I don't know when the council is going to discuss that, but in addition, there is a traffic device that is to be installed at 2700 West, 6,000 South as part of our transportation plan. And so I wanted to share that in this meeting so that it was a matter of public record versus just talk on Facebook, if that makes sense. And so, anyway, so that's going to be 6,000. Sounds like it's going to be a place of a lot of activity over the next couple of years.
Okay. Good comments. Interesting enough, I didn't read any of that on Facebook, but I did read, I did have face-to-face conversation with the residents back then. That was a horrific accident. Chief, you may know more about the incident there, but 3,100 and 6,000, unfortunately, by nature of the people coming in off Clinton, they seem to just have a real problem slowing down when they get into Roy. And then I also heard there was some issue in terms of some problems with the tree, and the property owners has removed the tree in terms of visibility. So I'm not sure exactly what the root cause was in terms of this latest one, but it didn't cause a loss of life, but it was a pretty horrific accident. So it just is what it is. Okay, we got to fix it. But to your point, Wasatch Front Regional Council did approve Roy City to get that roundabout. The timing of that is pretty close to the dates. It could come sooner if the monies fall out. I think it's a tune of a couple $100,000. If they can free up that money sooner, then they will go ahead and install that roundabout when the funds come available. Right now, it's targeted, I think, 2022, 23, 24 in that
24,
timeline.
yeah, it's like $700,000.
Yeah, yeah.
Quite a bit of money.
And then, of course, the sidewalks, both curb and gutter, will run from 6,000, and the way it was approved by the Wasatch Front Regional Council will go all the way, we think, to Midland. It was definitely going to go to 48, which was really kind of nice, but they said they thought they'd get enough money to push it all the way to Midland. So we'll watch that unfold. That was supposed to come a couple of years earlier than the roundabout, so we'll watch for that as well. Both great improvements. It's just now waiting to get the funding to make that happen. So great comments. Okay.
Can I just get a clarification? So the trunk or treat is when again? I was trying to look.
It is the Friday before, I believe.
So that's the 25th?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there are we doing, is there a theme? Is there,
You come out and have
of
fun.
course, you know, Carlene would bring that up.
No, it's actually on my list too, so I was going to ask,
Okay.
do we have a,
I haven't heard, the Arts Council did not meet tonight. They canceled their meeting tonight, so I have not heard about a theme.
Okay?
It wasn't really a theme.
There
last year.
wasn't-
It was each department did their
Kind of
own.
created their own thing.
Yeah.
Is that kind of where we're going
That's,
on?
yeah, I think that's where
Okay.
we're going this year.
So then if
Go
I
with it.
come up with a theme for council,
We'll support
costumes,
you.
we'll
Please.
all be,
Sure.
okay,
Yes.
okay.
that's perfect. That was
But
answered that
remember
question.
who your friends are.
You guys did it last year, and you
it was a
all
military theme, and
participated.
it worked out
was,
perfect.
And it worked out
Yeah,
good.
it was great.
So,
We're on it.
okay, cool.
Okay, so I think with that comment, then the council is willing to participate in the trunk or treat. Okay, so
Hope so.
whatever
I
Carlene comes up with,
I think
we're
last year
ready.
we kind of followed the Roy Days thing.
We did, and I did just think about that. I mean, that's cowboy, so that means we need
We're thinking.
our cowboy hats and cowboy boots on, right?
Just tell us what you need us to do. I like
We'll
it.
go something different.
Giddy up.
Okay. Anything else, council, you'd like to share?
Here at the district itself does annual city audits, and Roy's was pretty good as far as billing and that goes concerns. There was one issue on a car wash business on the uses of how much gallons of water they use, which was way off. So that business will be billed for those extra charges, what they're using. Yeah. We're probably going to monitor it just before we bill it, since it's a quite substantial amount. We also finished up pre-construction meetings for 5600 relining and fixing bad lines there. That won't happen until the spring, also depending on weather, but it will be going on. We're working with you to coordinate everything. Okay.
Thank you for
Great
that.
information. Okay, a couple of things, council. Let me just share a couple of things important. May 23rd at 4 p.m., the Wasatch Choice Workshop will take place at the Ogden City Hall.
He said May.
Excuse me, the South Ogden City Hall.
Did you say May 23rd?
No, I said it's 23rd of September. I'm sorry, but at 4 p.m.,
Didn't say me.
Monday.
That's okay.
Monday?
Monday.
Yeah, I got it written right here. Monday, 4 p.m., 23rd September, Wasatch Choice Workshop. They'll discuss economical development. They'll discuss transportation issues within this community. It'd be a great time. You're surely all invited to be there if you'd like to. Right after that, at 6:30, Monday at 6:30, 23 September, the Community That Cares Family Dinner event will take place at the George Wallen North Park. That would be a great thing if you like. I think the plan would be the first 500 or 600 people actually get a free meal that night. So it should be a great opportunity to interchange and discuss things and see about that great program, about how we need to work with our improving our community. And last but not least, each of the council members were invited on Wednesday, 25th of September at 7:45 a.m. in the morning. They're having the annual Walk Bike to School event at the Country View Elementary. It's always been a lot of fun. A couple of times I've been there, it rained. But what's interesting about it is they asked the council member to hand out drinks and badges to all these kids that walk to school and ride their bike to school. So it's a wonderful event. These kids really get excited about that. Please, it's on your email. If you have an interest in joining that, send that note back to the young lady that's handling that and let them know you'll be there, okay? And that's all I have. So, anything else, council?
Mayor, I just want to clarify some dates for October. So October 9th, Public Safety Fair. October 10th, Meet the Candidates. Then October 11th is at the Boys and Girls Club Scarecrow Extravaganza.
Oh, didn't get that one.
So
Okay. Okay, anything else, council? Okay, do I have a motion then to adjourn?
So moved.
second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. We're going to immediately go into an RDA board meeting. So if you just hang just a second, board members. We're going to go close door, we'll go in the conference room. Okay.
Oh, I got it.
You talk too fast. You talk slow. I'm old, remember?
You're not old. 9th, October 9th.
Give me just a second.
That's the,
October 9th, 6:30.
Okay. Remember, I'm like 50 years old, okay? I am slow.
Okay,
wow,
okay. So
what does that make me?
October 9th, 6:30. And then
Thanks.
just out here, no, out back.
As soon as I see Morgan, we'll go ahead and get started on the,
Where are you seeing?
To meet the candidates at the library.
did you guys not get? No.
Yeah, our library.
Oh,
Is it 6, between 6 and 6:30?
It doesn't say anything after adjournment.
should have been the page 2 to the agenda. Approval of the August, real simple. Yeah.
25th.
That will be right out here in the
No.
parking lot.
No, I think they're moving
You know what, you also put the wrong date. Should have been, rather than 13, should have been the 17th.
Okay. Morgan, are we moving the trunk or treat to George Wallen? Oh, we're moving the trunk or treat to George Wallen. That's good to know.
It's going to be at George Wallen.